Hello everyone, it's Deb again. So I'm back out here in the Suboverland for a quick update. Happy 4th of July everyone. Hope you're all doing well today. And not a lot's been going on. My ex has been working incredibly long hours and you know, I can't get this woodworking done without his help, so that's just what's been going on here. Not a lot. And so what my project is here is the flooring. If you remember right, I used just a 1/4 inch thick floor right down here. This is that step down area. This is where my refrigerator is supposed to be. We took it out so that we can get some work done. But remember, I was complaining because it was too thin and it was cracking under my weight and squeaking, and I was not happy with that. And so we couldn't rip that floor out to put a 1/2 inch plywood down there. And so what I did instead, because if you see here, the flooring, that's the original flooring, it went underneath this wood here, so I couldn't rip it out and replace it. And so what we did was bought a whole nother sheet. We got a 2 foot by 4 foot by 1/4 inch, so it's basically the same thing except for we got a 2 by 4 instead of a 2 by 2, because the first piece we put down was a 2 by 2. And for this one, because I needed extra little scrap left over, we just bought a bigger piece, and I polyurethane just one side of it, and so I left the other side just bare wood, because basically what we had to do was take this and cut out a whole new piece that was exactly like the one that was down there already. And so we cut it to the size we needed it, and then I took the template of the one that we already did. I still had the template wood, and we put it on there and traced it out, and my ex took the jigsaw and cut that out for me, and then we just dry fitted it, and it worked really well. And so I took wood glue and just went all the way down with it. I didn't get too close to the edges here because I didn't want it to squish out, but that's it. We just glued the new one right on top of the old one, so it's not quite a 1/2 inch piece, you know, so it's not quite as tall as a 1/2 inch piece of plywood, but it's close enough. And I took one of my bins that I have in the garage and I set it on it overnight, and it's on there really well. We didn't have to nail it down or anything. It's definitely on there really well. And then these facing boards that I had on here before, if you remember that, it cracked right here. There was a crack and I had to glue it and clamp it, and that worked, but it just looked terrible. So the birch facing wood that I used was a very, very bad idea. And so with the extra 1/4 inch plywood, I ripped those boards out. Actually, I probably ripped those boards out a week ago or two, and I scraped off all the old glue and I took out all the nails and everything, and then we just cut a couple pieces to go here, so that'll be my new facing board. Unfortunately, this wood is very thin. See, that's how it will look when it's done. Again, not the best, but I really don't know what else to do. And I'll probably have a rug here that goes up over this edge anyway, so I don't know. I don't know why I'm being so picky. It bothers me because this, I'm not sure if you'll be able to see it, if the camera will focus. Can you see all those little tiny marks? That's the factory edge. So when I first got this board, this whole edge, both edges, had these like little shred marks from where it was cut. And I was like, yeah, whatever. So I just kind of lightly sanded them down, and then I polyurethaned the whole side of it. But I should have known better. I should have like stopped right there and had my ex cut off and make a brand new cut, because when he took this and cut it, when I was sanding it down, his cut side was fine, but over here, look what it started to do. There was a piece where it was just flaking up, so I kind of just went like that with it and it broke right off. And now there's this deep little gash in it, and then down here there was another one that was coming up, and I pulled it up, and that's what I was left with. Look at that. I'm not happy with that. And so thankfully we have all this left over right here, so he's going to take this to work and use the table saw and cut me a whole nother strip for right here. That's the one that goes right here. This side didn't do it. Now his cuts, it did do the same thing, but it did it on the back side, because I had him cut on the back side. And so even though it's chipping away, I'm not really worried about it because it didn't do it on the front side. And this was actually a clean cut. This was the edge that he cut away from here. So this edge didn't have a problem with that chipping. And so this is fine. This piece we don't have to redo. That'll sit and go right there. And I am gonna have to, after we're all done, I'm gonna have to sit here and polyurethane these edges after it's in place and all that, just because these cut edges are always gonna be rough. And then I'm gonna have to polyurethane this edge too. And then right here, a little piece, this plywood is very fragile. All of this plywood is just so fragile. And right here, when we were messing around with, when I was messing around with this, taking this off, a piece of this plywood actually flaked up this way. Right there. Right on the corner. It just one little layer of it just flaked right up. And so I've sanded that down a little bit. It looks like, and it feels like I'm gonna have to sand it down a little bit more right there. But now it looks funky. And when I put this piece up, this is gonna be square and this is gonna be rounded, so I'm gonna have to literally just round that down to try to match it with that and make it look like a happy accident. I don't know. But it is very hot, very humid. Not living with air conditioning, of course, but my ex wants the air conditioner on so he can sleep at night. So when I have to go in the house to work or do something, it's not very much fun, because then I have to come back out into this and to live in this and sleep in it. And I'd rather just not have the air conditioning going at all, to be quite honest. This is just where I have my broom sitting while I'm doing work. I don't think it's gonna permanently live there, but it actually fits there and it seems okay there and everything. All right, still don't know what I'm gonna do back here as far as anchoring all the things that are gonna sit in here, because I've got my solar panels and my chair and several other things that are gonna have to sit maybe not totally vertical, because the solar panels are too big to sit vertically. These are just foam pieces that I had, but they're too big, they're too tall to sit like this, so they're gonna probably have to go at an angle. And I'm not quite sure how to strap everything in, you know, because things are gonna be odd size. Not everything that goes in this compartment is the same size. Only two things are the same size, and that's my two Dokyo 300 watt panels. Everything else is completely different. So I might put some eye hooks or something, like one up here and maybe one down here in the same way at that end, and then also here, and then just maybe like use bungee straps to kind of corral everything in. I thought about using these again, but if I do that, that's not going to be, I'm not going to have any flexibility, because there is no flexibility in these. I've got these screwed right into the edges of the plywood, and so if I do that there, I don't know, I don't think that's a good idea. So I'll probably just end up bungeeing everything that gets shoved into here. I don't know yet, but I gotta get out of here. I got this door closed because my neighbor over here, they're out and keep coming in and out of the house, so I'm not trying to get them on film. But yeah, the flooring is almost done, and then I've got to get that trim. This same trim that I used here, we actually bought it with the intention of having it down here as basically my little stop, so that all the things that I have under my bed won't come sliding out. And so we've just got to put a strip here, and then one all the way along there. And I'm not really looking forward to it, because we've got to like glue it and possibly nail it to the floor, which, you know, if it's not perfect or if it doesn't work out, hello camera, then, you know, it's already going to be glued there. It's going to be in place, and if I were to have to yank it out or anything, it would ruin my flooring. So I'm a little bit nervous about that whole thing, because that's pretty permanent. This I was able to salvage, and it wasn't too bad, but that's because I was literally gluing it to the underflooring here, to the framing. This is the actual, you know, the nice polyurethane flooring. Alright, you guys, hope you're having a good holiday, and I will talk to you some other time. I'm making firecracker blue cheeseburgers again tonight. What are you guys making? Let me know down in the comments what you're having for dinner today. Alright, talk to you later. Bye.